Thanks for being here. Your reflections, first of all, on this target beating weekend.
Wow. I mean, it's just incredible, isn't it, to think we're now in a position where we're going to be celebrating some 15 million of our population having had their first dose of a vaccine in just over 2 months since we started in the UK. I mean, it's just incredible.
And lots of people, of course, are always worried about how quickly we can keep going, and of course that is reliant quite heavily on supply. Are you confident that the supply will remain steady or even increase in the coming months, as many people will be looking for their second dose?
Absolutely, we're in great shape. We've been scaling up over the last few months. Globally, our organisation is on track to supply 2 billion doses to the world, and we're going to supply 40 million of those here in the UK. The scale up continues, and we're absolutely on track to the government's ambitions.
And we've had the news that AstraZeneca has started recruiting British children for a paediatric trial of the COVID-19 vaccines. And you at Pfizer, you're about to start something similar, is that right?
Indeed, yes. I mean, we recognise that we're going to need to protect the whole of our population ultimately against COVID-19. So right now we have an ongoing trial in children between the age of 12 to 15. We expect that data in the first half of this year, and then we'll use the science, the data, the insight from that to consider how we then may set up trials for a younger population down to as young as 5.
And what about the worry of variants, which we're always talking about, and which it's constantly being reported that it is dampening the Prime Minister's optimism? Sarah Gilbert, who's the chief investigator of the Oxford vaccine team, seems to suggest that actually she thinks that the existing vaccines that we have will be enough to battle the variants we currently have, and we won't necessarily need yearly vaccinations, as the Prime Minister suggests.
Yes, I think that the first thing to say is that new strains, new mutations were expected. This was not a surprise to us. This is what viruses do. It is part of the way that we've looked at the development of these vaccines. The data that we've got so far for our vaccine actually is incredibly reassuring. We've not seen a significant drop off in efficacy, and so right now we don't anticipate that we're going to need to change the nature of our vaccine.
Globally, you say that there are 2 billion doses of your vaccine available to the world. Do you worry about the fact that it is pouring into some regions so much more than others?
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, this is a global pandemic. It's going to require a global solution. And ultimately, we need all companies to come together to make sure that we are reaching all corners of the globe. We are seeing different rates of vaccination right now, but ultimately none of us will be safe until we're all safe.
And what about the future? We talked about variants just then, but it's also been reported that you're testing a different way of freezing your vaccine so your product can be kept in standard fridges.
Yes, so there's lots of exciting science taking place right now. I think there's a lot of key questions that still need to be addressed around transmission, the durability of response. For our own particular vaccine, we're looking at sort of how we can potentially reformulate that and what that may look like for the future, whether we'll require booster doses. And so there's a lot of key questions to answer in the months ahead.
And of course, throughout all of this, speed is one of the most important things, as well as safety, of course. But I wonder, any changes, any tweaks, any re-rollouts or changes to how you do the vaccine? Are you confident that the regulator will be able to keep up with all of this?
Yeah, I mean, the MHRA has been absolutely exemplary through this time. I mean, they have really kept up with the pace of science. They've adapted their processes whilst always ensuring that they are guided by safety at all times. So yeah, we have every confidence in our regulator here in the UK.